It's Pastor Dave here with our weekly update. Hey, I trust you had a good Thanksgiving. I hope you were able to gather in some fashion with your family and friends and those people that were meaningful for you. I hope maybe like me, you're a little overstuffed this morning. That means you were able to participate in God's bounty for us. I know I certainly was. Maybe a little too much, if I'm being honest with you there. I get really excited when we get to kick off a message series, and we're going to do just that this week. For the next 3 weeks, actually, we're going to spend a little bit of time unpacking some of the parables of Jesus. We've talked a fair bit about prayer and about how we talk to God, but God talks back to us through His Word. And Jesus, He was very particular about using stories to help teach. I am experiencing grandfatherhood for the first time this year, and I just love it when my little granddaughter will jump up on my lap, and she's just starting to discover books. And I remember when we were raising our daughters, they'd love to do the same thing. They'd jump up on our laps, and we'd work through stories together. And that can be a really powerful way to teach. And I believe truly that's why Jesus taught in parables. Sometimes He took stories from the Old Testament, He'd change some of the details, and He'd kind of deliver them with this new oomph or new thrust to His audience to get them to understand things. Think about Ezekiel chapter 31 or Daniel 4, where we're finding stories about kingdoms portrayed as a tree that grows larger than any other. It provides food and shelter for all of the earth's creatures. Jesus took those stories and He said the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed. Some of you know that, which starts out small but grows big and wide. It provides shelter. It provides all kinds of different things for us. That's a picture really of how God's good news about how His Word really spreads everywhere and provides refuge and provides help for us. But as we're talking with God, sometimes the things we're hearing back don't make sense. And so I've picked out 3 specific parables in Luke chapter 15. You'll know them. The parable of the lost sheep, the parable of the lost coin, and I call it the parable of the lost son as well, the prodigal son. There's some really interesting things for us to pull out of those parables and help us answer this question. When we're hearing from God, and that doesn't seem to make sense, well, what do we do with that? How do we go back to God? How do we go back to God's Word? Are there some other places we can go to help us understand what God might be trying to tell us or teach us? And so I'm really looking forward to that. I invite you to certainly to join us in person. We've figured out how to do the socially distant thing. So those of you that are coming, you recognize that. But those of you who are maybe thinking a little bit about that, when's the right time to come back? Well, the right time to come back will be when you decide it is. But I just want you to know we have lots of opportunity and space and resource to be able to make that as safe as we possibly can. But also, a number of you are finding great comfort in being able to stay home and worship with us online. And as you can tell, we're continuing to invest and fine-tune that part of our worship service as well. And so, listen, we're just really glad that you're able to do that. And just as long as you're comfortable in that medium, we want you to stay where you're safe and you feel most in touch with our community. And if that happens to be online, that's just okay. Really pleased to be able to provide that outlet for our worship service as well. Just 2 other quick things to remind you of. Hey guys, our men's breakfast. So we had a good group gather with us last month. This month is going to be Saturday, October the 24th. I think our group's going to be a little bit bigger, so we'll probably move that into the gymnasium so we can make sure we keep space apart there. We're doing individually packed breakfast so that people don't have to worry about contamination or any of that kind of stuff. And Pastor John Katz will be speaking to us on the 24th. So listen, I just invite you, if you can, just give me a shout, send me an email, give me a text, let me know however is most convenient to you, that you'll be attending so we can make sure we have space and food for you. That would really be appreciated. And then the other thing I wanted to just remind you of is our Bible study is on Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Now, one thing about this week is we won't have our Bible study this week, but beginning next week, we are actually going to start a new component. So we finished up the study that we were working on. And this one's a little bit different because it requires some interaction by those that are participating in the Bible study in the form of questions. And so what we're going to do kind of from now for the next little while is basically answer some questions. So I've invited those people that are interested already a part of our Bible study. But if you're interested in becoming a part of that and you've got a question you've always wondered about, we're going to use those questions in our Bible study to really unpack things that you maybe wonder about or you've heard or not sure about. And so, if you've wondered about when would be a good time to plug into that, maybe next Wednesday might be the time for you to start. And for sure, just remember as well, we have two avenues for you to be able to do that. You're welcome to come to the church. We have a group that meets in the church building here Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And then we have another group that feels more comfortable joining us online. And so we zoom in literally into that Bible study and we interact back and forth with the people who are in the fellowship hall or people that are online and do that together. So that's worked out really well for us. So if you'd like to join us, but you're not sure about, coming here in person, you'd like to use Zoom, but maybe you're not sure about Zoom too, listen, just give me a call, send me a text, an email. Happy to help you get that organized and formatted on your computer. I promise you, it's not that big a deal, but it could provide an outlet that maybe you would find valuable during this season. Friends, that's all I have to share with you this week. Again, looking forward to starting our new sermon series. Hey, that doesn't make sense. We'll have a little bit of fun with that, but more than anything, I want it to provide some meaning. I want it to provide some wisdom. I want it to provide some hope for you during this time. I look forward to seeing you in some fashion, either in person or online on Sunday. May you have a blessed rest of your week.